Welcome back to our unit on energy flow through ecosystems. Today we're going to talk about living things and the environment. Ecology is the study of how organisms interact with the environment. But what does an organism get from its environment? Well, the sun is the main source of energy in living systems, and the sun's energy transfers between organisms in a system. For example, plants capture the sun's light energy and convert it to sugar through the process of photosynthesis, which provides chemical energy for themselves and the other organisms that eat them. This is one of the many ways that living things interact with their environment. Organisms depend on this for survival. An organism gets food, water, shelter, and other things it needs from the environment to live, grow, and reproduce. A habitat is the type of environment in which an organism or group normally lives. What are the two parts of an organism's habitat? Well, first, you have biotic factors. Bio means life. So, biotic factors are all of the living parts of an environment, such as the animals and plants. There are also abiotic factors, and abio means no life. So abiotic factors are all of the non-living parts of the environment, and this would include water, soil, nutrients, rain, temperature, the weather, the wind, clouds, any factor in the environment that is not living. So how is an ecosystem organized? Well, first you have a species. And a species is a group of organisms that can mate and reproduce. In this picture, we see many different species. We see at least 2 bird species. We see alligators, and we see several plant species. And in that stream, I'm sure that there are many fish species as well. But what makes them a species is that they can mate and reproduce. A population is all members of one species living in a particular area. So again, we saw all these different species. Well, I see a population of alligators made up of, I see about 4 alligators in this population. At least in this picture. I'm sure there are more in that area. And those blackbirds, we see roughly 9 of those blackbirds making up a population. And that's just in this picture. There are, I'm sure, more than 9 birds in that population. But you get the idea. It's all members of one species living in an area. So we see multiple populations in this picture. A community is all of the different populations living together in an area. So this picture shows one community, all of the different species of plants and animals living together. An ecosystem is a community of organisms that live in a particular area. And this includes the biotic and abiotic factors. And then you have a biome. And a biome is just a geographic area on Earth that has ecosystems with similar biotic and abiotic factors. For instance, you can see the yellow areas here. This is a desert biome. No matter where you go on Earth, a desert biome has similar biotic and abiotic factors. Similar types of plants and animals grow there, and they usually have the same abiotic factors such as temperature and sunlight. And biodiversity is the variation of living organisms in an area, meaning the variation of species. And the more biodiversity there is in an environment, the better that environment is. And we're seeing through habitat destruction currently a huge decrease in biodiversity on the planet, which poses a problem. And the smallest level of organization is a single organism, which belongs to a population that includes other members of its species. And that population belongs to a community of different species. And the community plus its abiotic factors together form an ecosystem. So let's take one final look at the hierarchical organization of living things. We have the individual organism, which is one member of a species. Then we have the species. Then we have a population, the community, the ecosystem, and the biome. In that picture, they have the biosphere pictured, but the biosphere is what you will learn about in Earth space science. This is life science. Well, thank you for watching this video on interaction of living things with their environment.